what I wanted to touch on with you specifically, sort of from the back end of last year, one of the last fights that we saw was Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. And
yeah,
it came out that you'd sparred Jake Paul. And we have a lot of active professional fighters who have a lot of opinions on this young man. And
right.
someone who's been a two-time champion of the world,
Yes.
I wanted to get your opinion on what is he like sparring? How good do you think he is? And how far can he go? Because he says a lot of stuff. Obviously, a lot of it's for him promoting a business. But
no doubt, no doubt.
I mean, what's your opinion on him?
So when I first went in the training camp with him,
You just stalled there a little bit.
And I sparred, freaking rich. And can you hear me now?
Yeah. Sorry, you went into training camp?
Yeah, so we in the camp, got to meet him, nice young man, freaking pretty loaded, with the money. They're doing big things, and I'm happy for him. And, I got to spar with him. So initially getting in the ring with him, I noticed like, man, this kid's got pretty good boxing movement, for a guy on that level, just YouTuber, everyone calls him, and I'm like, he's not just a YouTuber, he's a guy, he's learning, he's got a pretty solid camp, pretty solid team. He's got J. Leon Love. You guys remember J. Leon Love?
Yeah. BJ Flores is coach as well.
Yeah, BJ Flores. Then they pulled in a couple other guys, BJ Flores is trainer, and another guy that BJ knew, that has trained some world champions. So another thing about Jake Paul that I noticed is his movement. His movement was pretty decent.
Yeah.
His movement was decent. He's trying to figure out how to get in. And of course, he's sparring, two-time world champion, but that kept him on point, more. So I just, got in there, pressured him a little bit. Then it was like, all right, let's relax and work. Let's work back and forth. But by the end of camp, Jake Paul was like, turn it up on me. He wanted me to turn it up on him because he wants to see where he's at, and of course I turned it up a bit. And we did a few rounds like that. But I'm not saying he's on this level. No, we got to realize, this young man hasn't had an amateur career. So
yeah,
right. So he's literally doing his amateur career right in front of our faces, getting paid millions of bucks for it, fighting these MMA guys. And I also believe that this is where he should stay for a couple more fights. Fight these MMA guys. Fight a lower level boxing guy that nobody's never heard of, but that's okay. Ease your way up to. He's calling out Canelo. We know why he's calling out Canelo. I'll call out Canelo if it would mean something because you get some big bucks. But
let's just pause on that point. From somebody who's obviously been in the ring, done it.
Right.
If you saw that fight got announced, would you fear for his safety?
Indeed, yeah, I would.
I would as a fan. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, and I'd watch it though. That's the thing. Are you going to watch it? That's the thing. So, I'd watch it, but I don't give Jake a chance against Canelo. Canelo is the top of the top. So, and I believe Canelo would play with him for a few rounds and then he'd eat his food. You know what I mean? But again, though, Jake Paul isn't as bad as everyone is trying to say he is. He's working hard. He's decent. I'm telling people, he's decent. Now, you put him in there with a Tom Fury, I think he needs a couple more fights. Me personally, I think he needs a couple more fights in order to clearly win that fight. Even right now, I think it will be competitive, but I'd give it to Tom.
Yeah, I think people forget boxers. If you look at Tommy, for instance, he hasn't had a big amateur career. So his fights, his first I think he's had 5 or 6. They're going to be learning fights with people with losing records.
Right.
So I don't mind necessarily Jake doing that for now. But I think that what people see is obviously certain comments and say, you know what, at least fight somebody who's a professional boxer if you're going to say these kind of things. But again, it's a business, it's entertainment.
No doubt. And that's the main thing. These guys are businessmen. Jake Paul's, his team, they're very smart. They have a plan. They have a window for boxing. And they're going to do what they do, maximize the big bucks, get in, get out,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to speaking to that guy one day because he's an interesting character, and I want to take on all these everything that he says, and you know he truly believes, and he has. I just watched this documentary he did with can't remember his name, all over YouTube though. He does it with everyone, and he writes all his goals out on the mirror, and you know he's very locked in. So I've got a bit of admiration.
Yeah.